Welcome back. Big names in the banking sector drove the all-share index to the south at intraday, down 0.72%. Let's cross over now to the exchange to get a sense of what the sentiment, or what is driving sentiment today. Temple is right on the trading floor. Hello, Temple. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chimazie.
So we saw GT Bank, Zenith Bank, UBA, FBNH pulling the overall market index down at intraday. The banking sector was down almost 4% as at midday. Why such apathy towards the banking stocks today? And has that sentiment changed as we speak?
So, the sentiment hasn't changed. As a matter of fact, it continues to worsen. And the reason, like you want to know, is not far-fetched. It's simply because the prices are low. We earlier in the last few sessions, the greater part of last week, we saw more of bargain hunting and making for investors who are trying to make entry, especially the local investors now trying to make entry into these banking names. As we speak, you know, of course, there are some people, some investors who had also put money on ground before these investors came on board. So right now what we're seeing is gains being eroded. You're seeing profiteering, you're seeing more of selling down and then taking flight. And that is by the foreign investors. Like you said, it was around 4% the last time you checked. As we speak, it's close to 5%, if not more than that. And you talked about GT Bank and Zenith Bank, which is now around 20 naira, you know, contributing to the losses that we've seen in recent time. But then again, Access Bank was down by 7%, and that was about the highest as at a few minutes ago in the market. GT Bank had lost almost 7% as well. But surprisingly, we've seen Diamond Bank gaining the more. Diamond Bank has been up, has added 1 kobo to its share price now. It's now 1 naira 32 kobo or thereabouts, compared to what it closed at yesterday, which is 1 naira 31 kobo, and so on. We've got other market movers in terms of the losses now. You got Dangote Sugar from the consumer goods sector, which is down the most by 10%. You also have NACO, that's the aviation sector listed company, down by 9.25%. And of course, we've got the Universal Insurance down by 9.0%. These are the huge losers in the market as we speak. And it doesn't look like the sentiment is going to be changing going forward, though you've seen decline by 9% in the volume of the transactions that I've been seeing when you compare to this time yesterday, and there's also been decline by 33% when it comes to the value of what has been transacted if you compare to yesterday. Index still at 33,156.31, and I wasn't too sure if I should give this earlier, but it was fluctuating between 1.5% decline to 1.36% decline. We're hoping it will drop further, so the level of losses we would have seen in the system will not be this much. In terms of sectors, I think I should add this to what you should know. Oil and gas is actually positive by 0.26%, and that's because we're seeing a bit of re-entry and exit on Forte Oil. Forte Oil has been contributing to the sentiments that we're seeing in that sector lately. In the last 11 sessions, it has lost some 17% and was doing it was around a year low as a 19 naira 1 kobo. So right now it has moved up a little bit to 20 naira, but we've been seeing this kind of seesaw approach, seesaw sentiment on that stock lately. Information on that is really sketchy. Some traders say it is a bit sensitive. They don't really want to discuss it, but then it's left for you to make entry or make exits as the offshore investors. However, some analysts have explained that FO, that's Forte Oil, has an upside of 36 naira if the level of zigzag movements we're seeing on the price in recent times, you know, find a way to simmer going forward. Chimazie.
So tell me, what's happening to the industrial goods sector? On Monday, it closed unchanged, and it remains unchanged as at midday. What's going on? Dangote Cement is not acting. What's happening?
Yeah, so exactly. I mean, that's the particular volume boost, that traders have been watching all along. You know, it's been Dangote Cement, for example, has been trading around 220 naira region, and investors have been silent on that. It hasn't moved further. It hasn't moved deeper. It hasn't gone deeper. It's yet to be explained, though. But as it is, whenever there's a movement to the positive side or to the negative side of that particular stock, the market reacts. We're yet to see that level of reaction now. We're yet to see, because there's no movement yet. For the likes of CCNN, other building materials company like WAPCO, which is Lafarge now, it looks like they've bottomed out in terms of losses and probably just waiting for re-entry of whether retail or corporate investors. Yesterday was flat. A few days, week on week, I think it was also flat. As we speak right now, it is flat still. We haven't seen any difference yet, but investors do hope that when the mood swings to the positive direction, then the markets will probably, either close northward or, better still, just help to mitigate the losses that would have been experienced in the key benchmark index. Chimezie.
Okay, we just have about 40 minutes to the close of the market. We'll see what happens. Thank you very much, Temple. An Anglo-Dutch consumer goods giant, Unilever, says it plans to commence trading in its new shares on December the 24th, as it expects to complete the simplification of its dual corporate structure. The company, which currently operates as two separately listed companies, Unilever London and Unilever Netherlands, through a combined process involving a scheme of arrangement and statutory legal merger. Meetings will be held in Rotterdam on October 25 for shareholders in the Netherlands and on October 26 for shareholders in London. The proposed simplification is subject to shareholder approval and regulatory consent. And Zimbabwe's new finance minister, Michuli Ncube, has promised to accelerate plans to pay arrears to the World Bank and the African Development Bank, and would work on a 3-year program to cut government spending. He did not spell out how he would speed the clearance of $1.8 billion in arrears, but said it will be a vital step in rebuilding investors' confidence. The Southern African nation dumped its currency in favor of the US dollar in 2009, following years of hyperinflation, and introduced bond notes in November 2016 on a bid to ease acute shortages of cash. And that's it on the show. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Chimezie Obi Iwago.